Bill has been a member of this group since last year, March of last year. It's just been the year, and he's done like $200,000 of business. So it's good stuff, Bill. Bill, take it away.
Thanks, everybody. I'm Bill. Pioneer Home Solutions. I'm a roofing contractor. Who cares about roofs, right? Who cares about roofs? About mine. Okay, Mike. I like stories. I like to know about people, where they come from, how they get to where they are. So I like to tell my story, and then I'll talk a little bit about roofs. So I grew up in the beautiful state of New Jersey, and I got to Colorado because of John Hill.
Oh, nice.
Right? So, growing up, I liked football, and they showed the football games all the time, and the West Coast games were always Colorado, and they show the mountains and people skiing, and I was like, I'm going there. So, when it was time for me to go to college, I did. I went to Western State College in beautiful Gunnison, and spent 10 years of my life down there, and got a degree in biology, and then I went back and got a teaching license, and I became a teacher. So for 20 years, I was a teacher. Eventually, I moved up to the Front Range area. I got a master's degree in special education. I taught for about 3 years. I did kids with emotional disabilities, and then for 15 years, I taught kids mostly with mild, moderate disabilities, dyslexia, things like that, in Jefferson County. But how did I become a roofer, right? 20 years as a teacher. Who knows?
You blew the roof off.
So during the economic downturn around 2008, 2009, I was kind of struggling because Jefferson County was struggling. That's where I worked. Year after year, we were getting pay cuts. We were getting furlough days, and it was getting pretty grim for me. It was like, okay, I'm living month to month basically. What am I going to do about this? Have a family friend that we were camping with one weekend, and my husband was like, well, I think we were talking around the campfire, a couple beers, whatever. He's like, you could be a roofer, because that's what he did. And I was like, I could be a roofer, I'll be a roofer. So it was funny, the next day I was kind of like, well, tell me about this. So he tells me, and he goes, he's like, you can do it in the summer, you can do it part-time, you can do whatever you want. Come check it out. So I did. That summer, I think was 2000, I don't know when it was, 2010, 2011, and started working for his company, and it was one of those years it was a good year to be a roofer. There was a big storm in Littleton or something down south. It was pretty good. I made a little bit of money in the summer. I was like, oh, this is great. I can pay some bills. I think I took my family on vacation that year. I was like, this is awesome. The next year rolled around and summer came, and I said, I'll do it again. I'll see what happens. Well, this was one of those years that there wasn't a storm, and it was hard to get work. And what I found quickly was that that's where the side of the roofing industry came in that I didn't like. We would go look at roofs, and the company's take was, every roof has damage. And I was like, that's not true. I can't do that. So as a couple months went on, I said, I can't continue to do this way. I have to do something different. At the time, my wife was also getting into this too, because she was laid off from her marketing job. So both of us are doing this, and we're like, what's going on? That was a rough year. The next year we decided we're not going to work for that company, and we moved on, and we said, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it in a different way. We're going to do it with honesty, integrity. We're going to do the best we can to help people. So that's what we did, and that was probably 2012, 2013. My wife started a referral group in Denver. She had some success, and I was still teaching. And I've got two kids that are middle school and high school. I'm like, I can't just quit my steady job and become a roofing contractor because that's scary. So we always thought, and we always said, and we talked and had conversations over and over. We said, we will know when the time is right. Like the universe will tell us. It will be obvious. It won't be, I'm not going to quit my job, lose my benefits, and put my family at risk. So we'll just keep plugging away. So that's what I did. Just would work roofing in the summers. I would, even in the fall, whenever, I would work 2 jobs, whatever I needed to do to make it work. So we did. And then May of 2017 was the big storm in the Golden area. Kind of coincided with some really heavy stuff at the place I had worked for 15 years. They were in the process of letting go a lot of veteran teachers. And I was one of those people slated to be let go. And I kind of looked at them and I said, you know, after all this time, how could you let me go? And so I actually, this was like around March, I actually fought it. I said, this is, you know, I feel like this is an ageism thing. I think this is a discrimination thing. And we had a lot of conversations. And on May, whatever that date of that storm was, May 8th? May 8th, 2017, at 2 o'clock, the director of the school said, yes, you can have your job next year. We made a mistake. About 30 minutes later, the sky had unleashed the fury of hail at the school, and I'm standing there going, is this the sign? Anyhow, I go home, it gets better, and I'm sitting there having dinner, and my phone is literally, it's ringing and texting, and it goes crazy. I think by 9 o'clock I turned it off, and then I had taken already the next day off because I had 30 roofs to look at. And yeah, I decided that that was the sign that I needed to make the switch into roofing full time. How much time do I have?
You've got 7 minutes total.
Okay. So, 2017 was a great year. It was, you know, we did well. We made a lot of connections. We worked really, really, really hard. I mean, I've never worked so many hours in my life from May till June, or basically Christmas. You know, it's like, you know, there's a lot of 16-hour days in my summers, just going. And I'm happy. I love it. I love what I do. I love being all over the place. I like not being in one place all the time. I like helping customers work through the process and then, you know, trying to make it easy for them because it's complicated. You know, you have a lot of, this insurance stuff isn't easy. The insurance companies are in the business of making money too, so they don't always want to pay out the way they should. So it's tricky, and I think that's what we do really well is we help our customers through that and, you know, make it so that they're not stressed out by it. That's what I hope to do. Anyhow, when that ended in December, basically we got through all the work down south, I said, okay, I need a referral network. Somehow, some way, I'm looking through all these referral networks and going to these things, and I stumbled across TRP. And I came in February, I think, for the first time, came a couple times, and I said, mostly I picked TRP because I was like, oh, I like Boulder, I want to go to Boulder, I don't want to go to Denver, even though I live in Golden. I was like, I like Boulder. So I joined in March.
It wasn't because we were the best.
You guys are awesome. No, it was. There was a lot of reasons. There was a lot of reasons. First the corporate ones that were just didn't feel right to me. They didn't feel good. I went to a couple and I was like, oh, this isn't for me. Anyhow, dumb luck. I don't know how. And then another sign, maybe this June storm came through Boulder all the way through Brighton and had another very successful year, thanks to a lot of referrals from this group, and I appreciate that. Yeah, that's my story. A couple things on roofs. Who here has a house that they own? Who here has a house that has a roof on it? Do you know the age of your roof?
Yeah, it's about a half a year old.
You know. Everybody should know the age of their roof, the condition it's in. You should know from your insurance what your deductible is. Is it an ACV versus an RCV policy? Does anyone know what those two things stand for?
Dave
knows. Your insurance person, whoever they are, hopefully it's Dave, it should be Dave. Make sure you know all these things that you're taking care of. I'll give you 3 quick stories. 3 situations this year I showed up to meet an adjuster on a roof. Mr. Adjuster says, well, the homeowner has a pretty high deductible. And I said, oh, how much? He said, 17. And I said, 1,700 isn't bad. He's no, 17,000.
Oh my.
I could do the roof for 15. Basically, he is uninsured. Dealing with another one just this week, up in, I don't know, Erie, somewhere out there in the farm country, beautiful property, and the homeowner. I'm not exactly sure. It sounds like they might have been steered in the wrong direction by their insurance agent because in order to save money on their premiums, they ended up with a $5,000 deductible, which isn't terrible, but then they have an ACV policy, which means it's only worth the actual cash value of the roof today minus the depreciation on it. So they have a 23-year-old roof. So basically, by the time, if they file a claim and they depreciate the roof based on its age and a $5,000 deductible, they will get $0 for the roof. So make sure your insurance is
Replacement.
in place and you know exactly what it is.
That's not me.
That's me.
Oh, no.
Okay.
What's RCV?
RCV is replacement cost value.
Okay.
So you all, I mean, yes, we all should have replacement cost value on your property. Your roof is your most important part of your house. If your roof doesn't work, what happens to the rest of it? So. Questions? Ann?
Well, this isn't so much a question, and I've stated it here before, but we have a lot of visitors and new members.
Sure.
So it was 2016, we were finally getting around to the hailstorm of 2016. This is way before I knew Bill existed. Wonderful woman, Carolyn, came to our house, looked at our roof, said, yes, you have hail damage. The insurance inspector came by, looked at it and said, oh, we'll give you this much. She climbed up on the roof and said, here, 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 showing them all these missed fresh dings in the roof that were caused by the hail. We ended up getting a full roof replacement instead of partial, and that was Bill's wife.
She's actually the more fun one to work with.
So they will get up on the roof with adjusters and point out where, you know, you can get more from your claim.
Yeah, another quick story. Can I share your story?
Absolutely.
So, Rob and his wife Julie have a property in Greeley, and I went to look at it in November-ish, I guess. Got on the roof, obvious hail damage. The adjuster came out while I was out of town, first time, and in that case I didn't really mind because it was just so obvious. I'd assumed they'd get it right. And, you know, so Julie sends me an email while I was in Mexico, and she's like, "This adjuster said there's no damage on my roof." And I was like, what? So we waited a while because it's been snowy and snowy. So just 2 weeks ago, we got a second adjuster out there to look at the roof. I made sure I was there this time. The adjuster walks up there and goes, I have no idea what the first adjuster saw. This roof is totaled. So, I mean, the insurance companies, I don't know what their motivation is sometimes. I guess it is to save money. But making sure you have someone there to represent you is super important.
I give a glowing testimony to Bill and his team. He did my roof and about 4 of my neighbors, and his team was great, and they tarped everything. The yard ended up being cleaner after they left.
We get that a lot.
And they even threw some stuff in their dumpster. But they were very good and very fast.
Bill,
Yeah,
what's the best insurance, I mean, I know we have some insurance folks here.
sure.
In your experience, what's the best insurance company in this area to deal with? As far as, you know, no BS, they send good adjusters and they pay.
Honestly, it's really hard to say. I mean, it really is. I feel like it depends more on the adjuster sometimes than the insurance company. I've had great luck with a lot of the smaller companies, the auto owners, travelers. They're usually a little more fair. A lot of times what I have to do is when the insurance company comes out, even if they do total the roof, they write the first estimate, that's valued low as well. So I have to write an estimate and say, hey, let's talk about this. Let's get to a reasonable point. I had a customer up in Longmont who, it's an interesting story because his roof was really old and he was getting ready to replace it anyhow. So he actually had already bids from contractors on what the price of his roof should cost. And they were in the $25,000 to $30,000 range because he had a large ranch. Well, when the insurance company wrote the first estimate, it came out at $13,000. When I ran the numbers, I was like, if I did this roof for $13,000, I would lose money. You know, I mean, a lot of money. So yeah, it's just, it's really hard to know. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. There's a couple companies I would be glad to say don't use, but I would like to do that in a one-on-one situation.
Well, thank you very much, Bill.